The zone wasn't capped. There's no penalty, Sassy.
Aside, and it's just me who getting that 52 to work and getting a triple.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Splat World Series REWOUND, where we bring you the sets that you didn't get to see on stream so you don't miss any of the action. I'm Bifu, joined by the one and only Ink, and we have our match for you. It's going to be Milky Way versus Vacuum World. Very excited for this one.
I'm always excited when I see a name like Vacuum World. You know what their cheese or their special is gonna be, right? So here we go. We see Vacuum World. We see Hitakuchi Taberu on the blasters here. We see Samurai Kasado on the leaders. We see Tiaki on the 96, and we see Utan on the Gal and Zap here. And you know, as we of course see Tiaki on the 96, there's that vac for us.
Can't be Vacuum World without a vacuum. But again, pretty standard comps, nothing we're not used to seeing. That being said, let's take a quick look at Milky Way as well. With the roster consisting of Bran on the Sloshers and Blasters, Jared on the Doolies and Zap, Q on the Pen, potentially leader, and of course Shadowwind on that 10th mini Zap combo. We're gonna see Shadowwind on the 10th. That's a fork found in the kitchen. Come on.
Yeah, if we saw anything, maybe, you know, if they swapped a pen or something, we'd maybe see that Zap, but who knows. Shadowwind, of course, incomplete without that 10 umbrella.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But going straight into the band stages right now. Again, I feel like it's going to be stuff that we see before, potentially some Urchin Under... Look at that! Urchin Underpass, speak of the devil! And
yeah,
of course,
right away,
back punch
JP
track.
knows what they want to ban, for sure, yeah.
You know, frankly, me too. I don't blame them, because me too. But again, Milky Way taking off Robo Ramen, surprisingly, and Museum de Alfonsino. But RNG has chosen Inkblot Art Academy. Quite an open map here in the center for zones, but I know a lot of people find it awkward with the tower in center as well. So I'm curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, I think the really strong things to look out for is those backlines and how they set up on those stacks, or how they're looking at those the bats area. Those are really strong areas. So we'll see how this goes for our match versus Vacuum World versus Milky Way here.
And interestingly enough, we do see that charger on Kasato from, I believe that is Vacuum World, but it's going to be an interesting matchup fighting against a 10, and I feel like Q is going to have a little bit of a moment with that outrange, especially on a map like this. But already, the start has begun right now, and both teams are going to be going down one member. Most of the turf is yellow here with Vacuum World, but Jared on the crab, just hoping to make a little bit more space for the rest of their team, doing so pretty successfully, or was successfully. Brand does go down, paving the way for Vacuum World to potentially take more space here, Ink.
Yeah, we see actually 3 of them looking on the side here with Vacuum World, but 3 go down on the side of Milky Way, and so now we're kind of camping a jump here. Jared looking for that pick and gets it off on Tiaki, so we're seeing Jared kind of trying to distract Vacuum World from going front, and he does so pretty well here. Taking side on right side, a little bit slow for Vacuum World here, but still we're getting strikes popped, so we're trying to look for anything forward here on the side of Milky Way, and Kasato looking for more picks on the side of Milky Way on their plat.
Yeah, if I'm a leader, I want to be taking anyone that I can out right now. But Vacuum World is starting to find themselves a little bit of a pickle as Milky Way. I don't know if you saw, they're starting to kind of surround and close in on Vacuum World, and it's going to be devastating as their players are all chipped and just trying to find a spot to safety. It's going to be Hitakuchi getting out here, and potentially their teammate as well on the right side, as Milky Way has a beautiful advantage. No zone cap just yet. Throughout all this chaos, they don't have the zone capped.
Yeah, you know, even they're still going 2 down on the side of Milky Way, so maybe this isn't actually a cap for them, and instead Vacuum World gets to hold their space forward as Tiaki is just vacuuming on their plat, trying to distract and hold, gets 2 down, and continues to try and fight for the 10 shield, and they get a jump out on the side of Milky Way. So now we're trying to regroup here, try and get specials, and see what Vacuum World has, but 2 go down on the side of Milky Way 3, so we see Vacuum World still being able to hold front here.
Yeah, and make that 4-5 and a whole wipeout in the favor of Vacuum World, putting salt in the wound as Milky Way was unable to cap at all this game despite the opportunity in front of them. Vacuum World with a very clean 100-0 first game.
Yeah, there were a few opportunities where we saw that Milky Way could really start pushing in, where they get picks off on Vacuum World, but unfortunately, maybe there wasn't focus enough on zone, and so they were unable to cap, and Vacuum World still got to hold front and get those picks off continuously on Milky Way.
Oh yeah, I am just shocked that Milky Way did not cap the zone. Like, it's almost unfortunate because they had a lot of the resources. They had the players down on Vacuum World to get it, but it slipped right past them, and Vacuum World just took complete advantage of that. I feel like the game could have looked a little bit different had they gotten that single cap, giving them a little bit more time to hopefully turn things back. But Vacuum World just did a phenomenal job at capitalizing off of the fact that they didn't and closed it out pretty much from this point onward, seeing those 3 down on Milky Way and making it 4, boom, technically 5 with that jump from Jared.
Yeah, it was really interesting, though. There was the one play, as you were mentioning, that Milky Way had this kind of surrounding around Vacuum World, and it was really interesting to see them play together and really look for those same fights and make sure that they were playing together. But unfortunately for Milky Way, they were unable to capture the zone and focus that objective point.
Yeah, and as we move forward, it's going to be Vacuum World choosing those next band stages. Milky Way, of course, choosing the next map as well. Manta Maria, Lemuria Hub getting taken out. Honestly, me too, Vacuum World. I don't like them either. Pretty standard. I'm not surprised, but Milky Way's next pick is going to be Umami Ruins. I personally really like this map. It's the king of neutral, especially because the zones can just, it's like, okay, we're playing Ring Around the Rosie. One of these zones is capped, the other is not, and it just kind of loops. So pretty fun stuff. Also really nasty lockout. So pretty excited to see how these 2 teams play this out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the leaders kind of duke it out. I think it'll be really strong on the one zone, as you're mentioning, this kind of back and forth and stuff like that, where we get to see just the fight for zone control and really trying to being able to move forward here. So here we go. We've seen just start off, we see 3 kind of just go for top mid, or 2 go for top mid here on the side of Vacuum World, already trying to get picks and gets the pick off on Bran here. So we get to hold a little bit of control here with Vacuum World, but Shadow Wind already looking for distraction against Vacuum World, hopefully getting their right zone here.
Yeah, no major plays just yet from either team, but as I see that Vacuum World is going to be taking the zone and looking for another pick on Milky Way to make that 2 down, only leaving their pen and bucket here. Bran forced to jump out right now, but they're both in a corner here, not going to be living for very long if you ask me, as Milky Way finds themselves at a pretty nasty disadvantage, if I do say so myself. Jared bringing that crab forward, just trying to make any sort of ways that they can for the rest of their team, finding one on the blaster of Vacuum World and hopefully some more, but that is also 2 down on Milky Way. It is not a situation they're going to be getting out of just yet.
Yeah, we saw Shadowin looking for that 3rd pick on that block, but unfortunately the Zuka was unable to find it. So here we kind of look forward here with Milky Way trying to find anything more for their advantage. Jared with crab up, so maybe this can allow them to get in, but with Chiaki popping the vacuum, it's a little bit hard for Jared, and he has to wait to pop. And unfortunately also the vacuum hits it just at the right angle where Jared is unable to continue with the crab for Milky Way here. But still we see 2 zones being finally taken for Milky Way, and they're able to move forward here looking for more picks.
Yeah, and we finally see Milky Way take the zone for the first time in the set, hopefully to make some waves. 1 down on each side, but more There's no vacuum on Vacuum World. It seems like the signature got taken out right there. But Milky Way is looking to keep this hold as long as they can. I love this cooler making their way out to the field. But again, they made a little bit of space there for Vacuum World. And Hitaguchi is able to pop that bubble in center and just make a disgusting amount of space despite the rest of their team being down. They're going to be holding the fort as long as they can, especially up against Brand, who's able to get taken out. And now forced to fight Jared. Can you get away with it? Almost! Ending in a trade, but Milky Way is here to seize control once more.
Yeah, we saw just the flank from Hitaguchi just running it and getting basically the whole team looking back for him, and even then. So we see just two going down on the side of Milky Way, and though Kyo gets a pick on Tiaki, their lead back here, unfortunately we see just still, but still two actually go down on the side of Vacuum World, and they are kind of holding this, still holding zone, and so we kind of see this back and forth here a little bit as picks going off and on from both teams, and nothing really super established as we see the zones being capped or neutralized for both teams here.
Yeah, again, no major cap just yet. Milky Way really fighting to get it though, but Vacuum World is still relatively in control of at least their side as they're looking to move a little bit more forward. And forward they do, taking the opposite zone and looking to take that current one to cap for real this time, having that cooler up and ready for the rest of their team right here. And again, some pretty smooth sailing here for Vacuum World as they look to move forward. Oh, potentially.
Yeah, we see this fight with Jared with the crab looking for distraction or anything type of stuff so that their team can move forward. But unfortunately, they're just being focused by the entire team of Vacuum World, and they go down with Crab and the rest of the team a little bit here. And now we see Vacuum World just holding their silo here, being able to just hold forward, hold front. Milky Way looking for Pick's front, but with 3 seconds left and a pick down on the side of Milky Way, it's not looking so good for them.
And a wipeout to end it all. Vacuum World taking the second game swiftly by the end of it. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you noticed, but they moved back a little bit towards the end to kind of play it a little bit more safe. And I think that really helped to make sure that they kept it on lock, despite giving Milky Way just a little bit more room. They're like, we know where you're going. We're going to catch you. And catch you they did.
Yeah, it was almost like a little bait, you know, they threw out the fishing rod, they said, come towards us, you want to, it's so bad. But it was just, you know, for, yeah, exactly. But unfortunately for Milky Way, they fell right into Vacuum World's trap and they were knocked out. So, I don't know, we'll see something further from Vacuum World and Milky Way. Here we see banned stages for Vacuum World. What maps they ban, we shall see.
Yeah, it could be just about anything. I feel like the main ones are out of the way. I can see Flounder getting taken out. Marlin is surprisingly really unpopular, especially on the JP side, but Squirt is going to be the second one to go along with it. Milky Way's pick being the last pick of the set right now. Milky Way, you still, you know, want to get that last game, hopefully in your favor. It helps with seeding. It's still Swiss, but we're going to be going to Undertow Spillway, surprisingly.
Yeah, you know, I think it kind of makes sense looking at with a leader or pen that you're able to just kind of see both sides, or even if you're not holding glass, maybe you get to hold your snipe and you still kind of get to see everyone from every perspective. And there isn't a sneaky flank where we saw in last match, we saw just Vacuum World being able to move in through someone sneaking through mid or being able to just move forward. So we shall see if something like that happens in this match.
No, yeah, absolutely. I could see Shadowwind doing really well with the tent as it is very close quarters in the center, but also when you have a lot of those, you know, blasters, you still have that tri-slosher. They can definitely eat through that still. So I feel like there's games of counter going on for both of these teams. So it could be anyone's game if you ask me, but Vacuum World has been looking really well and still continues to do pretty well. One down on each side, but Brand is here to turn those tides. Brand gets taken out, unfortunately leaving that right side open as Jared just comes in to try and seal the gap and hopefully take this last player out. And they do so successfully for Milky Way, seeing an advantage here at the start of the game.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we see this advantage starting for Milky Way as they see two down on the side of Vacuum World. Maybe looking for something even more, but with Vacuum World popping back here, Q's forced to jump out and they have control of their zone here, looking for Milky Way's zone, especially with Bucket going down on the side of Milky Way, Shadowwind going here, looking for something further, and Milky Way continues to hold control while Vacuum World looks like they're in a bit of a pinch.
Yeah, it feels very scattered on this map. A lot of players just trying to find some sort of flank opportunity. I mean, notice how Jared was all the way back there while the rest of their team is up here in the front, just trying to find some level of crossfire. And both of these teams finding picks here. Jared just taking or trying to take this position and picks, not finding it. Vacuum World still has a little bit of that player advantage in comparison to Milky Way, but Milky Way had to strikes to stall out just slightly more as they continue to hold on to the zone for the most part, just forcing, you know, they forced the back out early on top of that. So this could be really good for Milky Way or pretty solid for Vacuum World as they do actually cap the zone.
Yeah, you know, we get 1 second of cap out here. We're kind of back to Milky Way being in control with one going down on the side of Vacuum World. So here we see Jared trying to jump out, looking for a better position, but unfortunately gets picked off by Kasato. And so now maybe we'll see zone control being flipped as we see Samurai just kind of holding here, just looking for more, and Chiaki also looking for, gets two and continues as Q jumps out. So two going down on the side of Milky Way as we see Vacuum World finally getting control that they need.
Yeah, 2 minutes, but we got it here in the end, and they do have cooler on top of it. They do have, you're just looking for any opportunity. I do like that cooler because it gives them the chance to use their mains a little bit more efficiently, and Jared is just trying to fish them out from getting too good of positions here underneath their ledge, and doing so relatively successfully, only for a little bit, just waiting to see the rest of their teammates can capitalize off of it. But Jared said, I have this. I can do this myself if I need to. And forward they go. Beautiful 2 down from Jared, and gives Milky Way a beautiful advantage to cap the zone once more and still defend that lead. And Jared, get another one. Jared's getting another one. Jared's going for another one. That's their dualies right there, giving and paving the way for Milky Way to keep this advantageous state.
Yeah, and we see Shadowwind's even able to hold the snipe here, so getting to hold advantage state they will, as they hold very strong positions, kind of blocking out Vacuum World from being able to take these strong positions as Shadowwind goes down. So we're still looking for front here as we pop Vacuum Cooler. Hopefully Vacuum World being able to push back in here as they get Q, and looking for another one on Jared, the star lead runner for Milky Way so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, I feel like there's just been some level of lock-in from Jared as we see them take another pick and just try to make even more space with this crab. The crabs have been on point so far, if you ask me, just making that space, and the rest of their teammates capitalizing. Shadowwind here in the forward, hopefully looking to take a little bit more control of the situation, but opting to play things a little bit more safe as fights are breaking out from basically every side so far. But I do see Vacuum World starting to close and starting to gather the resources, and players of Milky Way are starting to go down, but not without a fight back. Once again, Jared's back in the front lines looking for more picks, and that is a wipeout in the favor of Milky Way. Now, this is exactly where you want to be. Keep this, and the game is yours.
Yeah, for sure. As they still continue to hold front here, and Shadowwind's holding that snipe area, we see Tiaki popping the Vac, but it's being still contested by Jared's crab, and he gets another one. Jared's still strong here. 2 go down on the side of Vacuum World, and even though Jared goes down, we see Bram still holding the exact spot and getting the pick on revenge kill off of who killed Jared. So here we still get a hold front here, and even though we're still kind of staggered, still in this kind of back and forth here, we're still being able to hold front on the side of Milky Way, and Vacuum World's kind of finding a little bit difficult to get back in, but they get 3 down, so now is their chance to finally move back in and continue holding forward for their team.
Yeah, and despite the flip here, the retake from Vacuum World, I feel like a flame has been lit ablaze for the players of Milky Way as they make their way back, looking for an opportunity to take this back. We are going to be moving into overtime. I see those specials online here, especially from Shadowwind, looking maybe a pick here. If we can get a good pick or two from this Zuka, it's going to be theirs, potentially, but we are going to lose our pen on Milky Way. Instead, Q went down, but we are just fighting for at least one side of the zone. If we can keep this neutral for the rest of the game, we're good, as it's the ink on both sides, and Milky Way is able to take this last game of the set. The set itself is Vacuum Worlds, but Milky Way, oh, you went over my heart. That's what happened.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was such a crazy match where, you're thinking the whole time that Vacuum World is holding such a strong in the set, where they're just so dominant and able to get all these really strong picks, but then suddenly, Milky Way shows what's up and why they're the leading kind of running stars in the NA world here, competitive world, where they just kind of show why they chose the map, make sure they know that they're still dominant in what they know best. So yeah, that was really just kind of, I was on the edge of my seat the entire match. They're really looking for Milky Way and their ability to just hold front, and we see Jared just getting pick after pick, looking for anything behind them, and so they did.
Despite the set going to Vacuum World, who was incredibly dominant during those first 2 games, you have to give it to Milky Way for giving us a fantastic performance during that last game itself. Just beautiful job from both of these teams. I think I'm still recovering, but that does close out this set here, Ink, on Splat World Series REWOUND. Again, I'm Fufu, joined by Ink. We'll see you guys next time.